Okay. All right, we are headed into our regular meeting. And it is 7 o'clock on the dot, so we're going to call the meeting to order with roll call. Councilmember Tomerlin.
Here.
Councilmember Navarrete.
Here.
Councilmember Aguilar.
Here.
Councilmember Land.
Here.
Councilmember Byrd.
Here.
Vice Mayor Alonso.
Here.
And I am present. We do have a full quorum. If everyone would please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and our invocation, Mr. Tomerlin. Okay.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lord, I thank you for bringing us all together again safely. Please be with us as we make decisions for the town and help guide us to the best decisions for our residents. Lord, be with everybody who lost a family member or is experiencing hardship in our town and lift them up. In your name I pray. Amen.
Can we have a
And
moment of silence?
Yes, I was going to say a quick moment of silence for a beloved teacher who taught here many years ago, Betty Sanchez, and also for one of our other longtime legacy residents, Evelyn Ramirez. Thank you. Okay. A lot of fun stuff going on in town. And we're going to start our meeting off tonight with a special presentation. That's a proclamation for the Week of the Young Child. And as I read this proclamation, I want to applaud the Superior Unified School District and Rebuild Superior and the Enterprise Center for the work that they've been working on developing a child care center in town, especially after losing our Head Start. It's been a project we've all been supporting, and I'm very thankful that we're starting to see some good progress on that, and our supportive partners from First Things First Arizona and Resolution and everybody being at the table to try to make this happen. So good things are happening, and that's why young children, we know how important young children are, and giving young children the things that they need so they can be strong adults. So happy to do this tonight. Whereas all of Arizona's children deserve access to quality early care and education, ECE environments, and whereas quality child care programs build children's lifelong learning skills during the critical years from birth to age 5, and whereas ECE teachers and child care providers are the essential workforce that helps Arizona parents get to work or school, and whereas funding quality child care is a smart investment that improves family well-being, strengthens communities, and grows our state's prosperity, and whereas First Things First, Arizona Association of the Education of Young Children, Southern Arizona Association of the Education of Young Children, and other community organizations in conjunction with the National Association for the Education of Young Children are celebrating the 55th anniversary of the Week of the Young Child. And whereas these organizations are working to improve equitable early childhood opportunities that provide a strong start for children in Superior, Arizona. And whereas public policies that support ECE for Arizona's youngest learners help our families, communities, and the economy thrive. Now therefore, I, Mila Vesich, Mayor, do hereby proclaim April 11 through 17, 2026 as the Week of the Young Child in Superior, Arizona, and encourage all citizens to support and invest in early care and education in our community. So thank you all for your support for early childhood education, and we'll be sending this off as participating in this week. All right. And we're going to go off to staff reports. We've had a kind of a busy season here so far. I know, Council, your emails should be very full right now. We're seeing some progress on the purchase of our land exchange properties. It's 546 acres to the west of Superior, so we've got some good progress happening there. The town manager and I attended a meeting in Phoenix last week regarding energy and data centers. I know there's a lot of news about that right now in, affecting everybody. And while we don't have a data center here, some of the policies there will affect us. We had a really good meeting with all of the CEOs of Arizona's power companies, so that was a very interesting meeting. We've had a lot of other progress going on in regards to some of our grants that Todd has been working on, so good stuff there. And we will be speaking at the Water Resource Research Conference at the U of A in April, so we've been preparing for that, and that's a conversation on our partnerships with Resolution and mostly on the Queen Creek Restoration Project, which will hopefully break ground here very soon. Our wastewater treatment plant is almost complete, and there's a lot of things I think I'm forgetting right now, Todd, so I'll just let you take it from there.
I do want to let you know the appraisal for the federal land exchange properties has come back. That starts a clock for Resolution Copper to pay for those land exchange properties within 90 days. It still needs an NPHA or NHPA, a National Historic Preservation Act review, and in a remediation of any historic assets that are on the site. So there are quite a few steps left to go. The surveys are about complete, so we can get the easements for all of the utility easements across that property. So we're getting very close on the land exchange. We have a meeting with AES next week to finalize a letter of intent for council approval for the battery storage facility on that site that we did the RFQ for just recently. The date for the wastewater treatment plant is April for completion, for buyout of the loan, for complete final turnkey on the plant. So cross your fingers it all goes well and leak check goes well. We can actually get out from under that project that started in 2014. So it's been a career ender. The last item is the Superior High School. The Multi-Gen Center has a set of plans for replaced electrical and the elevator. Both of those are with the USDA. USDA is extremely understaffed. They're dealing with one architect out of Washington State to approve our plans, and I have not been able to get approval on that yet. But as soon as that happens, we can begin construction on phase 2 and phase 3. We're just paid on the permits, so we can actually start building the elevator and building out the electrical and starting to move in. So that has been several years of delay through architects and USDA and everything else, but we're finally getting close to construction. All of these projects are coming due in this year. So we've got 10 major projects that have all come together in a one-year period. It's going to be a very busy year.
Without a doubt. Anything else, Mr. Pryor? All right, we're going to move on to the consent agenda tonight. We have the approval of the minutes of the Town Council meeting on February 12th, 2026. Approval of Town of Superior alcohol permit for Peligrosos Car Club, Mario Lopez, Angelo Villaverde for the Nacho Villaverde Cornhole Tournament located at Vestige Park on April 18th, 2026 from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. Approval of the Town of Superior alcohol permit for Taqueria La Familia Stephanie Mink for a baby shower located at Magma Club on Saturday, May 2nd, 2026 from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Approval of the Town of Superior alcohol permit for Laura Rivas for a baby shower located at the Magma Club on Saturday, June 27, 2026 from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Approval of Town of Superior alcohol permit for Ernest Ellison for a quinceañera located at Vestige Park on Saturday, May 16, 2026 from 5 p.m. to 12 a.m. And approval of our department reports. Any questions from council on the consent agenda? Hearing none, do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
There's a motion by Councilmember Tomerlin. Do we have a second? Second by Councilmember Byrd. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. We're now going to head into new business, and we're starting off tonight with a public hearing, discussion, and possible approval of ordinance 2026-201, an ordinance of the Town Council of the Town of Superior, Pinal County, Arizona, amending ordinance 17-140 zoning ordinance by adopting amendments to Article 3 zoning procedures section 3.12 recreational vehicle parks. And this is action item number 1. So Mr. Pryor, do you want to give us a quick?
Yes, this is a very simple code change. We're dealing with we had some permit meetings with RV park developers. There were some minor areas in the code they wanted changed. We rejected 2 or 3 of the changes because they would have been excessive. Wildan drafted 2 real changes. One is decreasing the number of bathrooms required if the RV parks are pre-plumbed with sewer. So if you're already tapped into the sewer, you don't need a common bathroom. So that decreases the amount of necessary bathroom spaces. It also dropped the 180-day maximum requirement because their intent is to rent to long-term minors who will be here year-round. They want the ability for them to stay there year-round. So the RV park would no longer have a 6-month limit on your occupancy. These are the 2 items that they requested changed. And because we're going to have a lot of these RV parks coming down the pike, it makes sense for us to do it as a large item rather than doing a conditional use permit or a variance on one item.
Okay. So at this time, our town manager has given us our explanation of this particular code change. We do have someone from planning and zoning here, Mr. Armitage. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm going to open the public hearing. Is there anyone in the public wishing to address this particular ordinance? Okay. Hearing none. Council, do you have any further questions or comments on this particular change?
I just have a question on this. Since the previous RV park, the maximum stay was 180 days and they had to leave, do we have any policy that states like there's a maximum year or year limit? Because some of these RVs can become unsightly after they're super old. Is there any policy on that?
No. This change doesn't envision that at all. If you'd like us to adopt a change, I'd have to ask our attorney, could we address that item, or do we need to go back to planning and zoning and readdress the entire code section?
Mayor, council members, I think the town manager and I need to look at the code and make that determination if it needs to be initiated there. We have had discussions basically about the age, for example, mobile homes and park models coming into town to make sure that basically, we're not going to allow things that are deteriorated, and provisions that we've discussed on there is that after a certain age, they basically must be brought up to the current code with proof that's there. So basically, we will not, we're trying hard not to have unsightly, things going in there. I'm seeing a lot in the community that I live in, where a lot of people are doing these RV parks / having these park models there, and basically retirees basically are selling their house and living there because they basically like the amount of space. They like the fact that they've got neighbors in close proximity to keep an eye on them and help them out. And some developments like that would really be an asset to this community because basically they would fit a need, and you'd have a really high class person that would basically be frequenting those parks.
I see.
It's possible that blight is in a different section of the code. It wouldn't necessarily be in
There are blight sections that would apply in that situation, but to be clear, there are RV parks in town that have ancient RVs in them that are an issue. So the question of the mobile homes and park models, they have a section in there saying, as Mr. Cooper said, it does not apply to RVs. So we could look at drafting another section in addition to this that has some sort of review of older RV parks and bring it back for council consideration at a later date as a separate item. We could still adopt this, and then we could bring back another section.
I don't think that would be a bad idea. I mean, I'm working in Globe, we have the same thing where they end up being almost looking like permanent structures, and they take tires off, and then it just starts to look terrible. So I don't think that that's a bad idea to come back with something like that so that we have something in place for that.
I'll direct our planning and zoning administrator to draft something for your review.
I do thank you for bringing that up, Councilmember Burke, because I agree, especially in the current situation that we're in, both in attracting and attaining affordable housing, but also just because of the water situation where we can't start building new homes just yet. We want to have some parameters that we don't have something that really just becomes a nuisance 10 or 15 years from now. So I think this is to add that in and add some additional fairness and protection for everyone involved. So we need to vote on this particular, so I'm closing any other comments from anyone on the council? Okay, I'm gonna close the public hearing, no further discussion, and now we can do the possible approval of the ordinance. We have a motion to approve ordinance number 2026-201.
So moved.
There's a motion by Councilmember Tomlin, do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Navarrete, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Now we're gonna go on to agenda item B, public hearing, discussion, possible approval of ordinance number 2026-202. An ordinance of the Town Council of the Town of Superior, Pinal County, Arizona, approving a variance from section 13.9 of the Town of Superior zoning code for a fence extension of 12 inches on 36-inch opaque fence in an urban residential R15 zone district for assessor's parcel number 105-05-0660, also described as 611 West White. The application for a variance for the parcel would waive the requirement of section 13.9E of the Town of Superior zoning code to allow for an overall 48-inch height fence. The top 12 inches would be designed to allow for visibility for passing vehicular traffic. Mr. Pryor, do you want to give us a background, or is there anyone here to speak to this?
This is the lady, the member of the public who came at the last meeting. This variance was supposed to be on a previous agenda. We discovered that the planning and zoning officer had replied with this information on the string of another planning and zoning issue. So it's an oversight on our part. It was delayed by a month for approval. She's asking for a higher fence because she's in a higher traffic area on a corner lot, and she would like to have more protection because she thinks 36 is too low. It's up to the council if you would like to honor that request.
Okay. The public hearing is open if there's anyone here who would like to address the council on this matter. Going once, twice, hearing none. Council, do you have any questions or comments on this particular request? Hearing no further questions or comments, do we have an approval of ordinance number 2026-202, an ordinance of, and we've already read it.
So moved.
There's a motion by Councilmember Tomlin, do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Land, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries, and we apologize for the clerical snafu there. Okay, discussion, possible approval of updated wastewater services billing policy. And some discussion on this. Our rate study allowed for the charging of late fees, but we had suspended them during the pandemic. Staff is asking to reactivate charging of the late fees for on our sewer bills. So, Mr. Pryor, would you like to give us any further updates? I know you had a package in there.
Yes, I also would like to reactivate the forgiveness policy that allows people who have large balances, if they agree to make a half payment, that we can write off the balance if they pay it off within a year. This was done when we first adopted the policy, but it's only open for a year. I think there's an opportunity to get rid of some of our bad debt by reactivating as a permanent policy. Also, because of the pandemic, many people turned off their late fees just because, economic stress on the community. But we're seeing an increase in bad debt and an increase in late fees, or late payments. So this would help us motivate people to come in, but also generate a little more revenue for the plant, which is going to be right at or below break even this year with the new debt service for its upgrade.
Questions or comments from council on this?
I'm just curious, remind me what the late fees are?
They're $5 a month.
I got a question.
Yes.
On number 5, number 2 or number 3, which says they will excavate and a shut off will be installed. We consider using inflatable gloves.
We have never activated a shut off ever. It's in the policy to give us the option, but as far as I know, we've never tried to do a shut off. We don't, an actual trenching and capping of the shut-off would be $5,000 or $10,000. Generally, it's not worth the effort. So it's in policy, but and it's also, I think, in town code, but I don't know that we necessarily are ever going to use this.
I just recommend if you ever do that, just put in a inflatable plug, air it up, 10 minutes you're out of there.
Yeah, that would, it's a much better approach, and I appreciate the superior knowledge, to be honest.
That's all I got.
Okay. Council, any further discussion on this? Hearing none, do we have a motion to approve the wastewater service billing policy?
So moved.
The motion by Councilmember Byrd, do we have a second? Second by Councilmember Aguilar. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, discussion possible appointment of planning and zoning commissioner. This is a council appointed position. We need to fill one position on planning and zoning commission. We have one letter of interest submitted by Mr. Mike Keene. Council, do we have any questions or comments on this? Hearing none, do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
The motion by Councilmember Tomerlin, do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Byrd, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. And our last agenda item is agenda item E, and this is the town council discussion. That's approval of contract renewal for town manager Todd Pryor. The Town of Superior employment agreement between the Town of Superior, State of Arizona and Municipal Corporation, hereinafter employer, and Todd Pryor, hereinafter employee. The term of the agreement is from April 1st, 2026 through April 1st, 2028. And council, I think at this time, if you want to, we can add this into our executive session agenda and come back, or we can go into executive session and we can also bring this back for action in April, so if we prefer. So council's pleasure.
I think it's also in the executive session, so
Yeah.
I think it would be a good idea to go discuss it and then come back.
Okay. So do we want to handle this now, or go through the rest of the meeting and handle all of executive all at one time? Is that okay with everybody?
Yes.
Yes.
Do we want to do all the public?
Yes. Okay, so we're gonna move on to the call to the public part of our agenda. Is anybody? Oh. Okay. All right, we're gonna do call to the public first. I'll go back and do F and G since we're already in this point. Ms. Torrio.
Yes. Hello, do I
Hello.
speak through there? Or
Yeah, because we want to be able for everybody to be able to hear you. You have 3 minutes.
Okay, so, hello, my name is Nicole Torrio. I'm speaking on behalf of the parents and children owning e-bikes and e-scooters. We're asking if you could please reconsider the age for the e-bike and scooter ordinance you just recently passed. We would like you to consider lowering the age from 14 to 10 or 11 years of age, being that there really is no age limit of owning an e-bike, especially one with pedals. Most children owning e-bikes and scooters are not 14 years of age, they are below. We do believe putting rules and regulations on riding and owning e-bikes and scooters is a fair course of action, but we feel that taking them away due to their age without giving them the opportunity to prove themselves, to prove they are willing and capable of following rules and regulations, guidelines, is unfair. With all due respect, our small town does not offer much to our children. Not only do our children enjoy riding on their own time, but the e-bikes and scooters have provided transportation for these children who play sports and need rides to and from practices and even school. If the cause of this ordinance is safety because of their age, aside from wearing helmets, we would like to propose implementing safety classes for the kids. Kids and parents could sign a paper stating they took the class and received something like a sticker to place on their helmets or bikes, providing them the necessary requirements. If the issue of this ordinance and age requirement is being that they're on Main, maybe there could be a restriction of certain times, days,
or altogether restricting them from the corner of the smokehouse to the top of Main and Magna. If they don't follow the rules, then they can be cited and etc. We're asking for your understanding and compassion to relieve the age requirement of this ordinance. We are not a big city, we are a small town. Let's make rules and requirements that will better serve the people and children of this town rather than forcing them to adapt to big city regulations. Thank you for your consideration.
Ms. Toyo, thank you so much for bringing that to our attention, and we appreciate you using call to the public to talk about this. We can't really respond to this, but you had a really great idea on the training programs and bike riding things, and I'd like to ask staff to have our recreation coordinator look at that. I don't know that we can make a change. We don't make change right here on like age things, but I think it's something that should council wish to bring that back, it could potentially be considered. We can't make that decision right now, but I'd like to maybe have the town manager connect you with our Parks and Recreation director to talk about how we could do some training, because we all agree we want our kids to be safe and to utilize these vehicles, safely. So,
Okay, thank you.
thank you. Okay, and I had a faux pas. We had 2 more agenda items on our regular business, so I apologize. Discussion approval of new policy concerning police report timelines and transparency. Mr. Cooper, I think that we have to table this, right, since we kind of directed more information to come back to us next month?
Yes, Mayor, if the council chooses to do it, you could do a motion to table, but you would basically direct what meeting you want that to come back to you on.
Okay. Council, your pleasure?
Mayor, I have a motion.
Okay,
I motion to table item F until the April meeting.
okay, there's a motion to table the agenda item F until the April meeting. Do we have a second? Second by Vice Mayor Alonso. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item G, discussion approval of policy changes concerning immigration detention and current case law. Council, did we want to do any more deep dive on this, or are we ready to accept this?
I move that we accepted it. It's in black and white, so it was.
I envisioned when I agendized this, the chief having a more full policy for you to review. Just a form, I don't know that we need a motion to approve. If you would like to direct a timeline for us to bring this back to you, now would be a time to do that.
Okay, so we need to do a motion to table the action item with direction, like we did with the last motion.
I'll make a motion to table this item based on feedback from the work session where forms will align and verbiage will align with our department policies, our department structure for our April meeting. Is that, you guys want April or May?
I'll do May.
Okay, or May meeting.
All right, there's a motion on the floor by Vice Mayor Alonso, and there's a second by Councilmember Aguilar. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, so now we're back to executive session. Do we have a motion to go into executive session?
Mayor, I'm sure your attorney will give you advice, but there are several different items here that will have different groups that you may want to bring back. You may want to do these in chunks, just as a suggestion.
So should we be coming in and out each time for each chunk? Or can I say this and say, at different times, we will invite this person or that person out? Because I don't want to waste that much time.
Mayor, council members, alternatively, you could do a motion to go into executive session, and we haven't spoken down in subparts, and the claims involving the police, you could basically say the following people we want present: the council, the town clerk, town attorney, town manager, chief of police.
Okay.
And then on the claim on ADOT and Ames Construction, basically would be the same group of people less the chief of police.
Okay. All right, so then do we have a motion, do we think, what, an hour? 90 minutes? Council, what's your pleasure? No longer than 90 minutes. Motion to go into executive session, no longer than 90 minutes. For agenda item B, we will invite the town clerk, town manager, attorney, police chief, and council. For agenda item C, we will again invite the police chief, the town manager, the town attorney, the town clerk, and council. Agenda item D, it'll be the attorney, town clerk, town manager, and town council. And on bringing forward the contract renewal for the town manager, agenda item E, that will be the attorney, town clerk, town manager, and council. Correct? Is that everybody? Do you have a motion to approve that?
So moved.
There's a motion by Councilmember Tomlin. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Land. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay. There we go. Everybody goes to the restroom.
Oh, that's the first time I tried that, so it should work though.
I won't be there, so can I start?
Then we
Okay,
can talk
well,
down.
you know, we miss you, so thanks.
I always tell people, don't talk right in the audience, but somebody always has conversations.
Video. Oh, that's
A couple of things, I had a few video deliverables.
All right.
back, so that was cracking the whip. Oh, that's okay. Cat was getting closer with the camera, and I was like, if you get any closer, Lee. I was like, you're making me nervous.
You were checking your makeup.
What's that?
Very close.
I've been right on the back of this one. And the face down ones are the ones I got.
Lexi, when you?
I think I got 40, probably 40% for you.
Okay, thank you. So do you want me to do all the other ones? Like I say, just do it, and do it, you want me to scan it, or come to you, or just do it?
Let's do it.
Okay.
You know, chances are for the majority of them that even though we're redacting out addresses, phone numbers, probably in a community like this, they probably already know the addresses and the post office box.
I don't know, you could just put it back up there.
Yes, I know. What's your name?
No? What the heck?
I know, I need to go over there.
Like, what
Chief, how are
How
you?
you doing? See you next
Good,
time.
good to see ya.
You too. Hey, Ruby. This was goodbye.
Bye.
I won't be back.
Okay.
Get your paper.
Okay, thank you.
Right here. See you later, John.
See you later.
See you later.
Sure, go. Give me a second. Give me down my stuff.
We were waiting for you.
Eric's just quiet, Eric's just great.
I wish I could tell you I sat there the whole time, but not good. So I went and passed to my office, and I looked at my clock, and I said,
I think can we actually beat?
Gosh, you're dedicated.
This is our security.
right, the bouncer. Where'd you go?
All right, I'm turning the video back on.
Oh, I didn't think you were actually gonna stick around.
He's committed.
I am committed to the important decisions that I do.
He's tired to get up.
Okay, everybody's sitting down. All right, we have a motion to return to open session. Motion by Councilmember Aguilar, second by Councilmember Byrd. All in favor? Aye. We would come into open session at 8:44. We do need to go back to one particular action item, and that is, D. Yes. Possible approval of contract renewal for town manager Todd Pryor. Action item 5, we have a motion. There's a motion by Councilmember Aguilar to approve the new contract renewal for town manager Todd Pryor. Is there a second? Second by Councilmember Navarrete. All in favor?
Mayor,
Aye. Any opposed?
Mayor,
Yes.
just clarification, my understanding is that the terms of the contract would be the same with compensation and benefits, but the severance would be 6 months.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
And that's the motion the council's voting on.
Yes.
We have to motion that we were gonna bring back just the performance reviews after as well.
That would be the next, after that, you would basically direct.
Yes. Okay, so Councilmember Aguilar, because we already have a motion and a second. Are you under clarification? You understand what Mr. Cooper's doing first and second? Motion makers?
So
Yes.
be it. Yes.
All right, so first and second is still in agreement. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. And now, do we have any further, our next meetings, they're written on the agenda. Emergency Services, March 19th, 2026 at 6 p.m. Community Development Committee, March 26th, 6 p.m. Planning and Zoning, April 2nd, 2026, 6 p.m. And the Town Council meeting on April 9th, 2026, 7 p.m. And Council, I'm sorry, I forgot council comments. Does anybody want to tell Manny anything? That's just 6 months severance. Okay, does anybody want to tell Manny any good news or something? All right, hearing none, Manny, nobody wants to tell you any good news, but thank you, Manny, for staying. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
The motion, all in favor? Aye. We are adjourned at 8:46.
I don't think I've ever